Are spies interested in someone like you? The Australian government has expanded temporary powers granted to the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, ASIO, during the War on Terror. So what are these powers and how could you be affected? Compulsory questioning is being expanded for a further 18 months with a view towards making it permanent. So unlike a normal interrogation where you might have a right to silence, if ASIO questions you, you can be compelled to answer to provide evidence. This applies to a particular list of crimes that they're investigating. That list is being expanded to include things like sabotage or attacks on the defence system. A joint submission from Liberty Victoria and the New South Wales and Queensland Councils for Civil Liberties says, this creates an incentive for the executive to conduct fishing expeditions against individuals who could not otherwise be investigated under ordinary criminal procedure. These powers can be used against somebody as young as 14. And ASIO says that this is because so many young people are getting radicalised online now. And I guess they're right, like the time that their mates in the Australian Federal Police groomed a 13-year-old autistic boy, feeding his interest in ISIS to try and entrap him in a crime, after his parents had gone to the police seeking help for their son. ASIO is not a politically neutral organisation. Throughout the Cold War, their job was basically to go after left-wingers. Principally, this was the Communist Party at the time, but also Labor. Reminded, this was a time when Labor supported free higher education, nationalising industry, even opposing genocide. Things changed. There's this really fascinating book called Dirty Secrets, Our ASIO Files. And it's got these chapters from people that have requested their declassified files from the Cold War. People like Peter Cundall of Gardening Australia fame, Gary Foley, an Aboriginal activist, Anne Summers, the feminist, even film critic David Stratton, and Michael Kirby, who went on to become a justice of the High Court. Now, these files show that ASIO informants were everywhere. They went to political meetings, they tailed activists, but they also didn't know what they were doing. They got lots of names wrong. They didn't understand the differences between the different political factions. So they were omnipresent, but incompetent. ASIO has traditionally held democracy in contempt. So for 20 years, they kept their sister agency a secret. They hid it from the Australian public and even from members of parliament. That's the Australian Secret Intelligence Service, ASIS. And at one point, the director of ASIO disobeyed a direct order from the Prime Minister at the time, Gough Whitlam, when Whitlam asked him to stop working with the CIA. Recently, we were told that ASIO had discovered that anti-Semitic incidents in Sydney had actually been ordered by the government of Iran. This is odd because these incidents galvanised public support for Israel, so it seems counterproductive for Iran to do that, but what do I know? ASIO won't share their evidence with us, but we have seen reports that they got a tip-off from that most trustworthy of organisations, Israel's Mossad. Given the political history of ASIO, we should take their pronouncements with a grain of salt, and we should be concerned about the continuous expansion of their powers. We know from ASIO's history that they target gardeners, feminists, and film critics. They even went after Martin Niemöller, the author of that First They Came for the Communists poem. Maybe there's a joke there.